Alrighty, okay. I call to order the regular council meeting of Wednesday, January 17th, 2024. Adoption of agenda 2.1, the council adopts the agenda. Can I get a seconder? Councillor Wall, thank you. Any discussion? None? All those in favor? Unanimous and carried, thank you very much. Item number 3, adoption of minutes. 3.1, recommendation that the council adopts the minutes from the regular council meeting held on December 6th, 2023. Can I get a seconder? Councillor Johnston, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous and carried. 3.2, recommendation that council adopts the minutes from the regular council meeting held on December 20th, 2023. Seconded by Councillor Wall, thank you. Discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous and carried. Item number 4, introduction of late items. We have 2 late items coming forward. Late item 7.4, which is the housing needs report from the Peace River Regional District. Do I need them to second each late item, Ms. Stokes? No. And late item 9.2, which is the Village of Coos Coopee Council Remuneration Expense Bylaw for information. Can I get a seconder? Councillor Woodall, thank you. Any discussion on those late items? Okay, all those in favor? Unanimous and carried. Perfect. Item number 5, delegations.
You did it too quickly.
I did?
She's not ready.
Oh, she isn't ready yet. I was just like running through this.
Could I make a motion to move on to 6 and then go back to 5?
Yeah, we can move on.
Okay, can I get a seconder on the motion to move to 6? Councillor Woodall, thank you. All those in favor? Unanimous and opposed, thank you. So 6.1, unanimous and carried. Unanimous and opposed, my goodness. 6.1 recommendation, can I read that?
The council receives a letter to the Legislative Assembly for approval.
Can I get a seconder? Councillor Rabble, thank you. Discussion? Councillor Wall?
I just want to say, Mayor, very well written.
Thank you. You know, nobody said anything. I came in and I was like, I did a good job.
You did a great job. You did a great job.
Thank you. Okay, would anybody like to add anything, or you're all pretty happy with it? Okay, all those in favor of accepting and sending this out to the Honourable Minister Ashton? Unanimous and carried. Thank you very much. We'll hop up to number,
Keep going.
Keep going. Okay, item number 7.
So,
New business, 7.1 recommendation.
That council adopts the amended policy 8.5, audio video recording as presented.
Can I get a seconder? Councillor Woodall, thank you very much. Okay, discussion? None. Oh, look at you. Oh, Councillor Wall.
Just so the public is aware, I was a little bit confused when I read it and then forgot about it. This is just so that on YouTube, there's just going to be a little subtitle there that says that the council that the video is not the official minutes of the meeting. The minutes are still the minutes of the meeting as part of a social media policy.
And this will also make it so that we can put out the videos without having to wait to the minutes from the next council meeting. So this just makes it so that we're not stuck in the bind where we're in, where they're going long weeks without getting the video up.
Tomorrow, if it's up.
So I think it gives him a week, isn't it, Ms. Stokes? 5 to 7 days to put it up? 24 to 48 hours, yeah. So this will just get those videos up sooner, because I know some people have a hard time attending. So, any other discussion? Okay. Does this include the word adoption, like we're adopting it here, or we're?
council adopts the amended policy.
Yeah. Okay. All those in favor of adopting the amended policy? Okay. Unanimous and carried. 7.2 recommendation.
Recommend that council receives the request from Girl Guides of Canada for consideration.
Can I get a seconder? Councillor Woodall, thank you. Discussion. Councillor Rabble.
So we're to light up our municipal hall and maybe some municipal buildings in blue on February 22nd?
Yeah, so how this started was actually, this was brought forward by previous Councillor Hebert, who brought this forward, and the village purchased the blue lights, so we already have them. So this is something we've taken part in, I think, for the past 2 years. So this will be our 3rd year doing it. So it is something, we already have all the lights and stuff for it, and we have participated in previous years.
Okay.
Councillor Wall?
Just a suggestion, if we continue doing this every year, could we just make it a policy that we do it every year?
No.
No, because it's not technically our date, and it's not technically our personal event, so there's no once you make something a policy, right, then it has to happen every year, whether they carry on with this or not, because then we have to go in and change it, right, so it becomes more difficult. So rather every
My goal
year.
was easy, not hard, so.
Yeah. Rather, every year they can just send us their letter for as long as it happens. Yeah. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor of lighting up our municipal office in blue for February 22nd? Unanimous. Wonderful, thank you, and carried. 7.3 recommendation.
The council receives a request for letter of support from the Northern Trails and Heritage Society for discussion.
Can I get a seconder? Councillor Johnston, thank you. So I have a question. So this is coming from the museum? I was very confused because it had our curator's name on it.
This came from one of the, I believe she's the president or vice president of Northern Trails Heritage Society. And she wrote the letter for the curator. They're looking for a letter saying that we support them applying for these grants. That's what they're looking for.
Okay, and they're gonna handle the grant management, I'm assuming?
Yes, this is all taken care of by Northern Trails Heritage Society. They're just sending these out on behalf of all the different museums.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, Councillor Woodall?
So do they have plans to do anything like in and around Poo Scoopy with Heritage Trails or anything like that?
The idea is that it will benefit all the museums. What it is they go in for a grant and then they split it between all the different museums. One project that they did in the past was, the sign that's out front of the museum, that there's a little hut over it and it's this big map.
Okay.
That was done on behalf of these guys. They paid for all of that,
Oh, the tourism.
for the maps,
Yeah.
for that very big map, they
Oh,
paid
okay.
for that. And then we just had to supply the little house for it.
Any other discussion? Councillor Rebel?
More of a comment. Hey, that's great. It's wonderful to see that we'll have
Do we need a
tourism
motion
features.
Okay, so
for
all.
letter of support?
Well, all those in favor of staff supplying a letter of support to the Northern Heritage Society? All those in favor? Unanimous and carried. Thank you. I've just been throwing it in the.
One comment,
Oh, yes.
if I may. Would staff be able to also send that letter of support to the museum? At the same time, like CC the museum? Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you. We're just trucking along. Keep going there. Yeah, that's great. Okay. All right. Well, we will move on to 7.4. Thank you. I appreciate that. Moving on to late item 7.4. Thank you, Ms. Stokes. Recommendation that the council receive the housing needs report legislation updates from the Peace River Regional District. Can I get a seconder? Councillor Rabble, thank you. And discussion. Councillor Rabble?
Housing needs assessments are important. We have new legislation to get in compliance. Is this the regional district having all the municipalities work together on this? And what will be the financial implications to the village of Poo Scoopy?
Yeah, so Ms. Stokes?
So the PRD oversees the full housing needs assessment and everybody is assessed a portion. I don't know exactly what it cost us last time, but it's not an extra amount. It's usually under about, I think it was about under $2,000, if not less. Yeah, it goes by your population and I don't know how much it is by the time.
Need for houses, need for apartments, need for townhouses or whatever. Okay.
We know where we're lacking.
Okay. Councillor Wong, you had a question?
That was it, so.
Oh, okay. Councillor Whittle?
So ours was updated as well back in 2021 was the last time as well? Okay. So about every 4 to 5 years they try and do these.
Yeah, and this has come out of the small scale housing legislation.
Yeah. Oh, it's a
Because
good time to look at it.
in order to opt out, you have to provide your housing needs assessment. So when I sent the letter to opt out, I provided them with the 2021 housing needs assessment plus the letter and the motion.
All right, any other? Ms. Stokes, so this is just for information, are they looking for a letter of support or anything, or?
They're looking to know if you will be participating.
Okay, so, all those in favor of participating in the housing needs report from the Peace River Regional District? Unanimous and carried, thank you very much. Alrighty, one is done. Moving on to item number 8. Actually, Ms. Green, can I say, what time was our delegation supposed to be here? So I can keep a bit of a watch.
It's said between 7 and 7:45 for the meeting.
Oh, between 7 and 7:45.
That's
No,
what
it
we're
was supposed
supposed
to
to
log
log
on at 7.
Oh,
Which
Oh,
they're
was
in.
it 8?
No, I said 7 our time, so she knew 6 our time, her time.
okay.
Is it Albert?
Lower Mainland.
They may be here
Yeah,
this.
Behind us, yeah, we're an hour ahead of them.
Yeah.
That could be just a.
No,
a
because
genuine-
I made sure
Good, our time.
yes.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
if she doesn't show up, she doesn't show up.
hopefully she pops on. If not, we'll have to arrange it for next time, for sure.
I do like extreme like this. I like the idea of.
We will have to make sure she gets on to the next one if we don't see her. Okay, well then we will move on to correspondence. So, Ms. Stokes, we've been sort of flip-flopping about how we're doing this whole correspondence. Just receive them all and then, yeah, here we go.
So, overall, correspondence can be received for information only unless there is specific ones that council wishes to address. And if council wishes to address them, I would ask that you go one in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, not 1, 6, 8, 2.
I know.
Please.
Okay.
It'll be easier for us to keep track.
Well, I'm going to move to 8.1, that was one I wanted to speak on. So 8.1, recommendation that the council receive the report from the Animal Control Bylaw Officer for information, seconded by Councillor Ravel. Thank you. What I wanted to ask about in the incident report is, it states here that a vehicle was driving in the skate park in the ice rink, from what I'm understanding, in his report. So, one, have the ice rink large doors now been locked, or is there a lock now on them? That was one of the recommendations he made in the report.
You have to check the phone.
No worries. And then my second question was, are we having trouble? We have a camera system over there, don't we? Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot, and I'm not meaning to, actually. I apologize. The reason why I thought there was a camera system there is because he makes a reference.
Oh,
Trail
yes.
cams, yes. Thank you.
It was out of date.
It was out of date, okay, but the issues with the trail cam have been fixed.
To the best of my knowledge, but I will pose both those questions to Public Works tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions regarding that report? Councilor Rabbit?
There's a suggestion in here of the ice be locked, doors leading to the ice be locked at all time, because that's simply for maintenance and Zamboni use and whatnot. And then a fence be built around the skate park, is a suggestion in here.
Yes.
My hope is that facilities can be accessible as often as possible for folks, just like a playground is. I personally would wish to refrain from locking our municipal infrastructure away as much as possible.
They're just popping big doors though on the ice rink, not the little man doors.
Yeah, and I get that, but in here there's a reference to it potentially
Maybe adding a fence,
around the
yes.
skate park piece.
I think we'll have to monitor if this incident becomes a frequent, and then at that point we can go back and sort of adjust if maybe that's something we'd like to look into. That's not something I've seen very often here in the community. It does happen, but it hasn't been like a constant reoccurring. But yeah, if it continues to
We're
happen,
watching.
yeah, that might be something we have to come back and look at in the future. Councillor Whittle?
Yeah, so the fence, the main idea was to stop vehicles from getting in there, so the other option, instead of fencing, it could be also looking at bollards or something like that as well.
Or landscaping and stuff. Yeah.
I prefer bollards to fence.
Sorry, did somebody drive on the skate park as well?
People that drive, never
No,
know.
they drove on the skating rink, not the skate park. It was the skating rink they drove.
No, there's been issues with vehicles.
Yeah, it's been
Driving
issues,
quads and
yeah.
stuff up and
Quads,
down.
yeah.
You could do subtle landscaping to kind of have like hills and hummocks and stuff, but
Now we're getting into this.
All right, well, okay. All those in favor of receiving this for information? Unanimously carried, thank you. Would anybody like to speak on recommendation 8.2? You do? Okay, read it out.
Yeah, so, recommendation 8.2, so it's Pouce Fire Department's report.
Yeah, you got it on it. Read the recommendation.
Yeah, you're doing something.
Okay, that council received the report from the Pouce Coupe Volunteer Fire Department for information and discussion.
Seconded by Councilor Rebel, thank you.
Better.
There you go.
So yeah, I just want to highlight that the fire department, this law for this period of this report, for the tail end of December there, or I guess most of December, that there was only one incident actually within the municipal boundaries of Pouce Coupe. Everything else was in the Peace River Regional District. Right, so that just goes to show that our fire department covers a good chunk of the Peace River Regional District, and that's where a good chunk of our funding comes from as well.
And elaborating on Councillor Woodall's point there's a motor vehicle accident as part of this report. And we're very fortunate to have there's multiple motor vehicle accidents in this report. One of them, I believe, was a fatality. And we're very fortunate that we have trained professionals here to deal with that, because a lot of other fire departments don't have that level of training.
Any other comments? Okay, all those in favor of receiving it as information? Wonderful, unanimously carried, thank you. 8.3 recommendation.
That council receives the letter from Fort St. John Council to Minister Farnworth for information.
Seconded by Councilor Wool, thank you. Discussion? Councilor Rabble?
I'd like to reiterate some of the wording in here, that we're asking for a system that holds criminals accountable for their actions in an effective way. I think that Fort St. John, as well as other communities in our region, are experiencing an uptick in criminal activity, and unfortunately it appears as though the justice system is not, to the fullest extent of the law or its ability or what it can do, able to bring justice to the folks that have been hampered by this. And it's really that question of, the rights of society versus, keeping people safe versus, folks who want to cause harm and perpetuate unfortunate situations. So I believe that this is a very important letter, and I would support that we support it as well.
So just a bit of background to this. So this letter was actually brought forward to the Peace River Regional District meeting that I attended on Thursday, January 10th. And I felt that seeing as Pouce Coupe has seen some of the same issues that Fort St. John is facing, that it only seemed fitting for us to write a letter of support. And so I'm bringing this to council today to see if there's an interest in council writing a letter of support to Fort St. John in their letter to Minister Farnsworth. And in that letter, maybe include some of the issues that we in Pouce Coupe are currently dealing with as well, because I think we have quite a bit of the same story going on here too. So, Councillor Wall?
Once we receive this information, I would like to make that.
Okay, well I think you can put the motion forward, or do you want us to receive it for information first? What do you think of Ms. Stokes?
Well, no, you've got it for discussion right now, so you can make a motion to.
Okay, all right, any other discussion on that then? Councillor Wall?
Although the Community Safety Act and then the Amendment Act to that is a very particular piece of legislation that was apparently not completely put through the House, but it's quite interesting. It's a piece of the puzzle. I don't think it's the be-all end-all, but it's important to bring forward to the Ministers of Public Safety these issues that we're experiencing up here, and that currently the way the system is setting up, black and white on paper versus how it executes in reality is extremely different.
It's not supportive of municipalities either.
And our communities are suffering.
Councillor Wall?
I'd like to put the motion to provide Fort St. John with a letter of support on this endeavor.
Can I get a seconder on that? Councillor Rabble, thank you.
Can't have a second now.
You really did. You were,
That's a good motion.
you were right in there. Any discussion on the letter of support? I do feel it's very important to, without sort of being too detailed, naming some of the issues that our municipality has faced with this legislation and how it's affecting us being able to run and function our own municipal bylaws and enforcing those. So I think that, you know, in our letter of support, it's important to talk from where we're coming from as well. So we're being supportive, but we're also saying, hey, they're not the only one that are struggling with this. Okay, all those in favor of the letter of support? Unanimous. Any other discussion? All those in favor of receiving this information? Unanimous and carried, thank you. Wonderful, thank you very much. Okay, anybody want to talk on 8.4? Okay, 8.5 is what I want to talk on. I'm going to throw it out there. 8.5 recommendation that the council received the letter from Mr. Can, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, I apologize, for information. Seconded by Councillor Rabble, thank you very much. I had a comment to make to this as well regarding this academy letter. So Mr. Khan is interested in opening up a request for facilitation to start an education academy in the village of Kooskupi. So while I'm pleased to hear that Mr. Khan is looking to the village of Kooskupi as a great place to start a new business venture, I'd be interested in more information regarding this academy, such as where this will be located. Is this a tutoring academy or a school? And if this school is online with like the BC curriculum or follows other forms of curriculum. My questions regarding this are generated due to the fact that Kooskupi does already have a learning academy and tutoring academy within it. And I would be concerned about our village endorsing one or supporting one while affecting others. Just so council sort of knows where that concern is coming from. Councillor Whittle.
Is the Map Academy being still operational? Did somebody start a new one, because I've seen those,
Yeah, well no, it's speech and
speech.
Speech and young, bunch of my students at Frank Cross go to it. It's got a fancy name to it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
The old CRS building there.
Yes. Yeah, I can't think of the name of it. Can you think of the name of it? No, I know.
Yeah, they have a billboard on your way to come.
Yes. So yeah, it's like speech, and they do tutoring from I think kindergarten up to grade 5. So I know I've got students that do attend it. Councillor Whittle?
Alright, so the other question I have is, has staff or anybody actually touched base with this gentleman to make sure that it's a real thing? Because generally when you see, and I don't mean any offense by this, but Kingdom of Brunei, when somebody's coming from there, it's usually on fishing expeditions and email scams.
Yeah,
so.
no, I did. This is a real person. He has a LinkedIn account. I Googled him. He does. There is a LinkedIn to this person's professional account. This person does exist. It does have all of his professional documents on his LinkedIn account, and I did Google the information that was provided. It does appear like it's a legit person, so I do understand your concern, hence why I Googled. Councillor Rabble?
Hey, I'm all for educational opportunities and programming needs that fit what the community needs. A blanket endorsement might not make sense in this context because I still have my questions of, is this in a separate building? Is this in a private household? What are the age groups that will be served? Is this a preschool? Is this an academy? Is this a tutoring class? Is this a school? Like, what is it exactly? I appreciate that this person wants to explore these opportunities here, but we have our zoning bylaws, and this person can absolutely apply for a business license and speak to staff about what that looks like exactly. But a blanket endorsement without the further information would probably not be the right step at this time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel the same. Councillor Wall.
My concern with this letter is the fact that this Mr. Khan lives in Bahrain, right? And he has the whole world. Like, he has the entire earth to figure out where he wants to put an educational academy. Why? Like, I'm happy he picked Coos. Very happy, but why?
Yeah, there has been others in British Columbia, but yeah, I just feel at this point in time, council's.
It's odd
It,
to me. Something's not quite.
Doesn't make sense to put forward a letter of support, but if you would like to speak with us at any point or come as a delegation and talk to us for a letter of support, he's more than welcome to, but at this point in time, there's too many questions. But I just don't feel that we need to invite him. I don't know. Councilor Whittle?
Could we just reply back to his email and just say, hey, thank you for the information. If you're interested, here's our delegation process to appear before council to answer questions, and then falls back in their court. And because obviously if we want to come to Kooskupi, we have questions.
Yeah.
And
from a secure computer.
But also, you know, the process for applying for a business license and whatnot.
Yeah. Ms. Stokes, would you like me to reply to this gentleman, or would you like to? You would like to? Okay, perfect, sounds good. Ms. Stokes will take that over. I don't think so. I don't think she needs a motion. She can just reply with.
You can defeat it as information.
Yeah. No, so all those in favor of receiving this for information? Oh, you had another comment, Councillor Wall, sorry about that.
Well, it was about who's gonna send it. I was gonna say that you would. I already get an email every day asking if you can chat with me. So.
I can chat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, every day, 9 to 5 a.m.
Just gonna start reporting those to
You gotta call Martech and tell them.
I have.
Oh.
Yeah, I got
And I just report it.
I just block them each time and they
Yeah,
change
and
their address, I block it again.
Yeah.
Finally they stop.
At least I'm not asking for gift cards anymore.
No, that's in the second email.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, no.
You guys are never gonna believe it. I'll be like the mayor of Christ Wolf.
This is directed to you, so just making sure that.
Yeah,
the email is
no,
secure.
we're all good. Though I couldn't infect his email, the poor guy. Yeah, we'll have Ms. Stokes do it. Okay, all those in favor of receiving this for information? All those opposed?
Oh, no. I'll take it as information then. It's
Okay, yeah.
I think it's a scam.
Okay.
Therefore, receive it for info, and
Yeah.
then we're done with
And
it.
then we're done.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
So you're in favor?
I'm in favor.
So that is unanimous, thank you. Come on, gentlemen. Yeah, unanimous and defeated. Okay, would anybody like to speak on 8.6 recommendation?
That council receives the letter from Todd Dorhe, MP, for information.
Can I get a seconder? Councillor Johnston thinking, leaving him hanging there for a minute. Okay. Councillor Rabble?
Interesting. So they're asking for a draft resolution about this new 988 number. I wouldn't want to put the burden that we must display it constantly in all of these compliancy whatnot to make it a whole policy. I think if we've got a poster and we can post it up, I think that would be nice. But I don't want to compel to continuously put it up.
Yeah, I had added this to the agenda because I thought that, you know, it would be something that, yeah, we could advertise it on our Facebook page, just sort of spread the initial word. We can't?
You shouldn't.
We shouldn't?
We can't put it up there?
Even though it's technically a new, it's sort of like 911, right? But it's for the suicide
We can
hotline.
post it on Facebook and we can put it in our newsletter. We
Okay.
won't display it on our wall or window.
Okay.
We don't do things like that, but we can put a sign over at the bulletin board there.
Yeah, it's just really getting the word out, right?
Sure.
So this is sort of like, you know, the version of 911 for the suicide hotline. So they've tried to make it so it's really easy.
I believe we've done it once or twice already.
Yeah.
Yeah, like public bathrooms and whatnot in
Yeah.
these other spaces.
Ms. Stokes, would you like a motion to put it in on the Facebook account and in the newsletter?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'd like to make the motion that, the attached poster for the 988 suicide hotline be added to our Village Voice, the next one that comes out, and we put in, a blurb about it on our Facebook page. Can I get a seconder? Councillor Wall, thank you. Any discussion about that? Councillor Rebel?
Well, I think this has been a process and many years of work, but I think it's important to have a helpline like this, because with the new Next Gen 911, we were thinking of having that as a piece. Anyways, this is kind of like a kid's help phone, but for general population.
Yeah. Okay, all those in favor? Unanimous, thank you. So that motion is carried. All those in favor of receiving this for information? Unanimous and carried, thank you. Anybody want to talk on 8.7? Anybody want to talk on 8.8? I'm just gonna start talking really slowly.
The council receives the media release from School District 59 for information.
Can I get a seconder? Councillor Whittle? I was about to call you, and I realized you were scratching your nose.
Two things at once.
Okay, discussion? Councillor Rebel?
So in another hat, I've been invited to attend this meeting, but I'm wondering, are we sending some folks from Pooskoopi to advocate? And because my intent is to be present at this meeting, obviously the main piece would always to be keeping Pooskoopi School open, right? That's the fundamental brass tacks there. But just out of curiosity, are there other things that council would like brought forward when the school district is working through their strategic plan revision and this budgeting process, both for this year, 3 years, and then also their new strategic plan? Are there other pieces that council would like to have brought forward?
I know, if this, well, Ms. Stokes might have something.
That would be in a letter that comes from our office, not.
Not through this mechanism?
No.
Yeah, this school district's been pretty good with our preschool, like they just recently had their addition added on, and so, you know, they've put a lot of time and money into Prescoopi schools, we've been really,
Expansion.
yes, we've been really fortunate in that area. And then the other area was the YMCA, which you're dealing with under a different hat. So really, at this point in time, I didn't feel that we had anything to bring forward, or anything for staff to bring forward. What is, ours is pretty new, yeah.
2008 and then expansion,
Yeah. Councillor Wall?
Well, since it's a budgetary meeting under process, would it be appropriate to bring up our community center agreement?
No, because we're currently dealing with that, so.
Never mind.
No worries. But if this is something, Councillor Rabble, that you would like to attend and observe, you're more than welcome to under that hat, but at this point, no, there's really nothing for us to bring forward.
Will council grant me the privilege?
You're the,
liaison.
that's you.
There we
Yep,
go, okay.
That's totally your hat,
Have
so.
you guys' consent?
You totally do.
What?
He's just making sure, he's being thorough.
Crossing his eyes.
That's right.
Well, I'm now school and education, which actually was very handy. I'll have that in my report.
Okay, perfect. Okay, any other discussion on this? All those in favor of receiving it for information? Unanimous and carried, thank you. Bylaws, okay, 9.1 recommendation. Oh, 8.9, sorry, 8.9. Anyone want to talk about that one? Well, see, nobody wanted to talk about it, what the heck, guys?
Just leaving.
I'm willing to skip right over it.
I'll bring it up then. That council receives a letter regarding the Peace River Regional District Regional Growth Strategy as information.
Can I get a seconder? Thank you, Councilor Whittle. Are you just bringing this up because you felt it was being neglected?
No, I think it's
Councilor Rowell?
I think it's extremely significant. We've got a steering committee, we've got a staff member involved with that the Peace River Regional District, as a confederation of municipalities, is looking forward to their regional growth planning strategy. I love that Prescoopi is at the heart of this, and that we're working with all of our team members to make this work and really bring it forward.
Yeah. And you'll see in, well, I have it on my web browser here, but there is a survey link in there, so hopefully you guys have taken the time. You can find that survey, have your say the PRD Regional Growth Strategy on their Facebook page. So make sure you guys go on there and check it out and fill out the survey for your project input. Okay? Any other discussion? All those in favor of receiving that for information? Unanimous and carried, thank you. 9.1 recommendation.
The council receives the public notification bylaw number 1053, 2023 for information on the orders session.
Seconded by Councilor Whittle, thank you very much. Okay, discussion? Councilor Rabble?
I noticed the changes, and I appreciate the new revised social media definition. It just appears that it's social media with a link to our village website. So be it.
Does that make you happy?
Totally that extreme.
Watch him vote opposed.
Okay.
Just for information and discussion tonight.
Well, I was just about to ask, could we put the vote on the floor? No, you're just wanting it for information? If you throw that motion out there, she's gonna kick you under the table. Councilor Hall?
Councilor Rabble, do you have any concerns with this bylaw as presented? Before it comes back at the next meeting?
That's an interesting way to ask it, I don't know. Does the member opposite? Anyways, no, because it's not, the issue with social media being the legal means of notice conveyance. Now it is simply just a spot to put a link to have the website be the notice spot. That's fine with me.
Counselor, are you gonna make me swear in a load of Bibles, Counselor Wall?
Honestly, that was kind of confusing for me to hear. So,
He's okay with it.
He's good.
You're good with it?
He's good,
The
yeah.
process will continue as it is.
It's good.
he's good.
Perfect. Okay. All
I
those
couldn't
in
tell if that was
favor?
good or bad. So.
No worries. All those in favor of receiving this information? Thank you.
That's why I'm not talking much.
It's so funny. Okay, late item 9.2. I remembered that the recommendation that the council receive the council remuneration and expense bylaw 1054-2024 for information and or discussion. Can I get a seconder? Councillor Woodall. Prior to this conversation, I would just like to add, we are not asking for a raise. We're not asking for any more money. All we are asking is to change the pay period from once every 3 months to every 2 weeks. Correct? Bi-weekly. That's the only thing we are asking for.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hi there, we'll be right with you.
Just one sec, Billy Joe.
No worries.
Councillor Wall.
On top of that, what this does is, this used to be 4 separate bylaws.
Yes.
And it's now been brought, is that correct? 4?
3.
3. It used to be 3 bylaws. It's now 1 bylaw. And it will save our financial officer time when it comes to payroll and things like that. It'll actually save us some time and some effort.
Effort, yes. Again, not asking for a raise.
Nothing changes.
It keeps coming out. Yes, Councillor Rabble.
Okay, so yeah, no increase in remuneration, no increase in per diems, no increase in qualifying expenses, no increase in reimbursement, no increase in reduction, which doesn't make sense. But anyways, yeah, just
Everything's the same.
different time period, everything's the same. Okay.
Okay, Councillor Woodall.
Just to reiterate, because everybody else said it, nothing's changing, it's all the same. We're just getting paid every 2 weeks. Or bi-weekly.
Okay, and so you're just wanting this for information for today? Okay.
Councillor Johnson, you want to add?
Councilor Johnson like to say that nothing's changing.
Yes, Councillor Wall.
I was just going to ask Councilor Johnson.
You really wanted to reiterate that we're not, yeah. Okay, all those in favor of receiving this for information? Unanimous. Okay, we seem to have Miss Billie Jean with us now. Billie Joe, thank you. You know what? I know a Billie Jean and a Billie Joe. I keep doing this. So, recommendation 5 for delegation. So that the council hears the delegation from Billie, oh, I'm going to say this wrong. Austin? Thank you.
Asen, yeah.
Asen, okay, of the Extreme Mudfest. Can I get a seconder on that? Councillor Woodall, thank you very much. Hello, Billie. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you coming and speaking with us this evening. We know that there's like that time change, so that's probably been a bit difficult.
No, I apologize that I was a little bit late. I have 2-year-old twin daughters, so I was trying to get them in the tub and everything, and then I saw Sandy's email, and I was like, oh my gosh, so sorry.
Yeah, no worries. No, I'm a mom. I have kids as well. I get it. We're totally there. Yes. Hello. So we were looking to have you come and talk to us a little bit about Mudfest. We got your event request, and there's quite a bit of interest amongst council, and so we're just really wanting to learn more about the event you're looking to hold, and you know, sort of Pouce Coupe's role within that event as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually was in Pouce, I guess it would have been probably 2018 when we started talking about coming to the region. My whole family's from the region, and so for a long time we wanted to do a Mudfest here. My dad actually purchased a property out on Riverside Road, and so he's got a massive acreage out there. And so Extreme Mudfest itself is Canada's largest mud and music festival. So we're extreme motorsports plus rock concerts and country concerts. We're 10 years old, and in Alberta we've got extreme bull riding and a softball tournament and a whole plethora of stuff. And so this will be our second location. Coming into the area, though, it will only be Extreme Motorsports and the concerts. We are looking at Labor Day long weekend. So our plan is, there's a local man by the name Wade Casson. He does a big kind of mud bog thing out of his house just outside of Dawson. So he's actually going to roll in with us and bring the local mudders there. And so Friday would be a locals day with a rock night, like kind of a throwback rock night. And then Saturdays when kind of our big guys come out. So that's the Canadian Mud Racing Organization, and then Axle Buster Mega Trucks, plus side-by-side racing as well. And then Saturday night would be a rock concert. So we have offers in on Big Rec right now for that. And then Sunday night is our country night. So again, racing all day. And then the concert at nighttime, which we're looking at James Barker Band. Our ticket prices are super reasonable. For the full weekend, it's about $119. That includes everything. And kids 12 and under are 100% free.
Okay, cool. And
Yeah.
then, so how do you run this event? Are you reliant on fundraising, grants, sponsorships?
So kind of all of it. So we're privately funded, so obviously we're part of it. Ticket sales are a big part of that. Liquor sales are a big part of that. And then we have some pretty great sponsors. Obviously, we're starting from scratch in the area, but hoping to get some good support. Like Peter Brothers is coming on board to do all of our construction, which is fantastic. And then to be honest, the whole reason we kind of pressed a green light on it is that I had applied for the BC Fairs and Festival grant when it came out last spring. And it was kind of just a Hail Mary where I was saying, okay, if we get it, then this is meant to be. And we ended up getting $58,000 from BC Fairs and Festivals. So that was fantastic. We have applied for Amplify BC. I think we have a pretty good opportunity for it, especially because we're in a rural marketplace, which is a very big focus for Amplify BC. And then apart from that, like I said, it's ticket sales and liquor sales and all the general event revenues.
Okay, and then my next question would be around, so, holding this in a rural area is obviously going to pick up traffic, and there's going to be concerns on the highway and people coming and going, and so is that something that you're working with, like the BC Ministry of Transportation to, understand the traffic flow, or do you have flaggers normally out there, or I know some other events they hire flaggers to kind of come in and can control traffic turning off of the highway.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be hired flaggers. Like, we're way down Riverside Road, so there'd be signage all the way down, and then we'll have a volunteer parking crew and a volunteer camping crew.
Okay, and it's been a while since I've looked at your form, I'm going to be honest, and I don't currently have it in front of me. What was it that you were looking for from the village of Pouce Coupe?
So just so you guys know, our company does festivals kind of all over. And obviously it's just really important to have a good working relationship. It's a big tourism draw for your local businesses and people coming through. I don't know what you guys have available, to be honest with you. So if you guys do have any tourism or marketing grants to drive tourism, we'd love to apply for that. And then just any processes that we need to go through. Obviously, we'll talk to the RCMP, which come out of Dawson Creek, the local fire department, just kind of what you guys need. Every city's different on their processes.
And would a letter of support coming from the municipality help you apply for some of those grants?
You know what it would really help for is actually, so yes, but we've already submitted for all the grants that we'd be eligible for. But what would really help is to show that this is actually of large economic benefit. So if we can get a letter of support of the event, then we can actually increase our drink prices from being $5 to $7 or whatever we plan on doing. But with BC liquor licensing, when you go through and do your liquor license, it's automatically, I think it automatically says $5.25. So in order to increase that, we need support from the city.
Okay, got you. Okay. Councillor Woodall?
So one question, with the event being held on Peace River Regional District area, right, it's outside of our municipality, so would that support have to come from Peace River Regional District, or would it still assist coming from Poos since you're kind of outside of where we have a say?
To be honest, and I'm navigating this as well, to be honest, I think it's all through Poos. The regional district, when we talked to them, basically just said we have private land, so we can do up to 10 events a year, and that was kind of the only conversation we had. So I don't know how all the municipalities work together, to be honest with you.
Okay, yeah, because Poos Koopy works pretty closely with the Area D representative of the Peace River Regional District, so that's sort of out in the area in which you're talking about. So that's why Councillor Woodall has kind of brought up the Peace River Regional District. So you have reached out to the Peace River Regional District then and spoken with them?
Yes, because we needed to make sure we are actually allowed to host an event out there, and there's no permitting process or anything. It's private property, so we just can only have a max of 10 events a year.
Okay, Councillor Woodall?
Have you touched base with Director Hebert of Area D himself to kind of chat with him about the area, because he's usually quite involved with what happens within Area D and that kind of stuff?
I actually don't know who that is, so I'm taking guidance on this call.
Yeah, so he would definitely be somebody that I'd recommend that you reach out, and I think if we ask staff nicely, they might be able to provide that number. But if you look at the Peace River Regional District website, Area D Director Leonard Hebert, and contact him, because he could also be a great wealth of support potentially for you as well.
Awesome. Yeah, we're really excited to. So I lived in Dawson Creek for a long time as a teenager, and my dad runs Peter Brothers Construction. My whole family's up there, so I'm really excited to be able to bring this event to that region, because I think the region needs a big event. There's not a lot apart from obviously Fall Fair happens, and then a smaller event out in Fort St. John. So I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, no, exactly. Councillor Wall?
My one question is, do you know whether or not that property of Riverside Road where the event is taking place is a part of our 911 fire protection area?
It is.
I do not know. I would assume so.
One side of
I know that
Riverside
if they've-
Road, the other side is out.
Yeah, but that's up to the discretion of the fire chief to respond. It all depends exactly where it's at, but it very well could be.
Because we may need extra volunteers on call in case there's an emergency or someone gets hurt, because it'd be us going out.
Not necessarily, because if it's an event, they have to have their own safety crews and that kind of stuff for all of that stuff, right? We're only there, like it'd be BCAS, or if there's a fire or something like that, right?
Oh, okay.
Ms. Stokes?
So yeah, so where we would pull support, and my understanding would be, yeah, if there's a fire, we call 911. It would come from Poos. If we call 911 because there's an incident with an attendee, that would obviously be the police. Cold Lake has actually been wonderful with having policing presence around at all times. It's just good to have people in uniform. I did the talent for the Fall Fair for years and years, and I know police were always around in that area. But yes, we have our own, we bring in private security company, and we also have medics on board, and we'll also have an ambulance on site as well. It's not a transport ambulance, it'll be a stabilizer ambulance in case that there's an incident on the track.
Okay. Ms. Stokes, would you see any concern if council were interested in writing a letter of support for Mudfest through the municipality?
It really doesn't pertain to us. They're outside of our boundaries.
They could
You
put a
can,
logo up.
you can write a letter of support, but there's really nothing for the village to do.
Yeah, correct. Well, I'm gonna throw the motion out there that, oh yeah, right, no, thank you, I appreciate that. Yes, so we're gonna discuss it a little bit more and then end up getting back to you, but I think from the conversation amongst council, everybody seems really.
It's looking good.
It sounds you know, the Peace region needs more of these types of events going on. And, you know, this sounds really, really great. I think it's Bonanza that normally does a big, like, Mudfest as well. And, you know, that's always, like, huge. And I know families that have been going for years. And, you know, I think it's really, really great that you've got this drive and vigor to bring this here during the September long weekend. And, you know, I think it's going to be great. Councillor Wong?
Thank you.
I have a two-part question for you. When do tickets go on sale and where can I buy them?
So I wanted to have this conversation with you guys first, because I didn't want to just announce a big festival coming and nobody knowing what it is, because you guys will probably get questioned. So we're going to announce, we're looking at probably first week of February that we're coming, and then lineup announcements and tickets on sale first week of March.
Okay, wonderful.
Would you be selling them locally?
It'll all be online. We've got a ticketing company, Showpass, that we work with, and then obviously people can buy tickets at the gate as well.
And if you're interested in advertising, Poos has a really cool little corkboard outside of our post office that you're more than welcome to pop a poster on, and you know, anybody can post advertisements there, and it's right outside of our municipal post office, so everything that goes up there is seen by everybody.
Fantastic. Anything to spread the word. I mean, it's been interesting. Obviously being from there and my family being up there, we actually have a lot of people from like Fort St. John, Grand Prairie, and Dawson that all come and they race and they know Mudfest really, really well. So my dad has started to have some of these conversations with other construction companies and pipeline companies, and it's spreading pretty quickly right now. Which is fantastic, but I definitely don't want to miss the mark on marketing. So any suggestions, I'm wide open. We've got Bounce Radio on board. We've got Moose FM on board. And then we have a whole digital team that'll do everything kind of online. But anything outside of that, I'm all ears.
Okay, sounds wonderful. Councillor Rabble?
Sounds like a lot of wonderful pieces, a lot of thought out. This is an extremely complex thing to put on, so I'm very appreciative that you've got a lot of different things thought out. I'm wondering about a little bit more explanation in regards to the letter of support equating to an increase in the alcohol sale price. That's somehow that with BCL, because you've got the support of municipality, it equates to an increase in alcohol prices. How does that work?
Yeah, it's so special events permits for liquor licensing are a pain in the butt in BC, to be honest with you. For whatever reason, BCL puts it in that as soon as you do your liquor license you go online, you submit it. Anything over 250 people needs to be signed off on by our CMP, which is pretty standard. But they have a standardized drink price of $5.25. So if we want to sell for higher than that, which all events end up doing anyways, we just need a letter of support from the municipality saying we support this event. And then I send it to a lady named Lorraine who works at head office for BCL, and she signs off and says, okay, how much do you want your drinks to cost?
And then any extra monies based off of that would then go to help pay for the event and stuff, right?
Exactly. And the other side of it is you just don't want super, super cheap drinks either, because people tend to drink them very, very, very quickly. So there's always that fine balance. We need to be affordable, but not ridiculously cheap.
I like cheap drinks.
Ms. Stokes?
My question is, if you need a letter from the municipality, does it have to be the municipality that you're holding the event in?
No, honestly, if you were a big city, maybe, but the regional district, in talking to them, there's not really a governing body. So technically, when we announce this and we're coming, it is technically in Pouce Coupe. Nobody will know what the regional district is.
Okay, I'll have to look into it.
And then just one quick question. You guys share a police force with Dawson Creek, correct? There's not a police force in Pouce.
No, it is shared, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Oh, Councilor
Last
Wong.
one. If we get you a letter of support, could you put our logo on it?
Of course, yep.
I want to be associated with this thing.
He's very excited. Councilor Rabble.
It would be a
We would love you all to come to it. We have something things that we sell, they're called mud huts. It's actually quite fun, and we use rig matting and we create steps, and then we have 15 by 15 tents, and then they have little propane fire pits in them. They've got high top tables and everything. We call them mud huts. They're like our VIP suites that we sell. So you guys will all be invited to the mud hut.
Now he's really excited.
Wow, I'm really excited.
Councilor Wong. Councilor Rabble. My goodness gracious.
So
sorry.
It's a wonderfully sounding event. I think we need to approach this in concert with the regional district. Like, we are the municipality with the stores and the, you know, wonderful shops and spaces for people to come through, but we have to do this in concert with the regional district. I think we should approach this together with them.
Okay. Councillor Wall?
I am meeting with Director Hebert tomorrow,
Okay.
when he returns from Prince George. Do I have your permission to bring that up with him? See where we can move forward with this, or?
At this point in time, no, because I think Ms. Stokes is gonna have to do a little bit of more research into it, but, I'll be seeing him by the end of the month as well, so that will kind of give us time to look into, oh no, you're leaving.
I know it's a staff.
Yeah.
I think a final question for the
Yeah.
delegation. By what time would you require a letter of support from our municipality? What would be February, March? What would that be best for your organization?
Honestly, it could even be like June. It's when we go and do our liquor license. So I would go in and then I'd have to put a request and I would let you guys know, like, hey, we want to sell drinks at $7 instead of $5.25. And you would say, we support this event as a municipal or as a tourism impact or an event of significance to the region. And we support drink prices being $7. So I can show you ones that we've had to get from like the city of Surrey and stuff for other festivals we've done.
Okay. I think what I'm gonna have happen is, I'll get staff to send you, Director Hebert's contact. And then if you just wanna reach out and connect with him, so that when I bring this up to him in a couple of weeks, he knows what's going on and I'm not catching him off guard. That would be great.
Yeah, sounds great. I will be in Dawson next Friday. So if anybody would like to meet in person or has any questions, I'm happy to meet up.
Okay. Nope, sounds great. So yeah, no, reach out to Director Hebert and then I'll connect with him in about 2 weeks or so. And then, yeah, you'll probably be hearing from us in the future.
Fantastic. And then the other things that I will need from you guys, and some cities have it, some cities don't, but if there's any permitting that you guys do you have a special events permit that I need to apply for food trucks? What is their regulation? Like, what do you guys need from them? Normally we have to do, obviously, their health certificate, their insurance, that type of thing. So if there's anything that you guys need, please let me know sooner rather than later so we can just get the paperwork into you.
Is there, could we get a map of the area on Riverside Road that you're specifically going to be hosting it? Because we're not 100% sure if you're in our fire boundary, if you're not, if it's the PRRD that you're going to be permitting through. Like, we need to know sort of down to the wire where exactly it's going to be being held to find out our contribution at that part of it. Like, you know, whether as you guys know, it's very rural out there. So we're kind of working off of Google Maps to kind of draw like the perimeter. I do have a guy going out with a drone to do all of it. I obviously have the address for the property so you guys can see. But my dad is local and it is his land, so he can always go and walk it with everyone or bring everyone through. Yeah. Would an address work?
She can send me the address and I will forward it to you guys. But
okay, perfect. So when Ms. Stokes sends you the letter for Director Hebert, if you could reply back with the address, then that can kind of get her searching on, you know, what exactly you would need from us.
Okay, that sounds perfect.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for, you know, coming and speaking with us. It was lovely meeting you, and we will connect again in the future.
Sounds good. Well, I look forward to doing business in your region and making this a staple festival for the area.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.
You too. See ya.
Bye.
Okay, where were we? We were down. No, I'm gonna wait. I want Ms. Stokes to look into that a little bit more. So I will look into that. I'll let her do her thing, and then we'll look into a letter of support maybe later.
she doesn't need it to June. So.
Yeah, we're all fine. No big rush. I thought maybe it would help with like grants and stuff, but never mind. So once Ms. Stokes brings back her stuff, we'll move forward from there. Thank you for the reminder, though. I appreciate that. Item number 10, administration report, CAO report.
not much to say.
It's been active.
I've really been busy. Met with Urban Systems to start planning for the park next door. They're gonna come up with some conceptual drawings for me to present to council. I'm working with the grant writer to look into grants for the lagoon, for the park, for the skating rink, for all sorts of things. Strategic plan is in the final version, and hopefully we'll be going back in February. In December, we got a letter just as we were leaving for holidays, telling us we were getting a grant for $153,718, and this is to support all the new housing initiatives that are going on.
Yes.
So this is going to go towards things like the zoning bylaw that's gonna have to be updated, finishing our OCP and things like that. That's where that money is going.
Well, I'm happy to hear that we are going to be receiving some money from the province to help with that, the funds and cost changes that are constantly happening. I know that other municipalities, as well as the Peace River Regional District, as of Thursday, are all going to start keeping track of like how much all this extra changes to housing and stuff is going to end up costing the PRRD and the municipality. They're going to start keeping a record of that to see if this money is even effective. Is that something council would be interested in? That is something Dawson Creek is doing, PRD is doing it, and the Fort St. John is doing it as well. So just because while they're giving us money, when the municipalities are looking at the amount of money they're providing to cover some of these costs, it's not even actually covering a third of the cost overall. Councillor.
A lot of the things that they want us to do, we're doing anyways, though.
One way to look at it. Okay. So that's, yeah, Councillor Rebel?
It's great that we received a grant, absolutely, that the taxpayers don't have to bear this directly within the municipality. They have to pay for it through their provincial taxes and whatnot. But anyways, what are the potential impacts that would cost us with these legislative changes? Is it administrative time? Is it contracted services? Is it bylaw review? Like,
for us, it's administrative time, and it's contract with Urban Systems to redo the OCP and
redo, all that has to be.
So the OCP right now, they are actually looking into, they've incorporated the changes already.
okay, because we just did it.
Yes.
We haven't done it.
Yeah. So, I don't know if that's something that, yeah.
We keep track of it anyway.
Do you? Okay. Yeah, because I know, a motion was just put forward at the last PRD meeting that they're gonna start keeping track because, you know, the costs are, you know, like every year it's more and more and more changes. It's beginning to add up quite exponentially. So I just wanted to bring that forward to council. Sorry for interrupting you, Ms. Stokes.
Just a reminder, tomorrow I'm leaving on holidays. I'll be gone until the 31st. And last but not least, I'm leaving council with some homework. The OCP, the draft OCP is done. I will be giving you this at the end of the meeting. I would like you to read it, please. And then Urban Systems would like to meet with council, and we're proposing February 5th, 6th, 9th, or 12th at 6 p.m.
So I'm just adding the only dates I'm available to meet are the 9th or the 12th. Just so you know.
I'm hoping you can set a date right now.
I know, that's why I'm throwing it out there. Only dates I'm available are the 9th and the 12th.
I think 9th and 12th works for me as well.
I'll put the motion on the floor to do it on the 9th.
Okay, Councillor Woodall, the 9th work for
Can you
you?
look at phones? Is that okay?
Why do you wanna do it Friday there? Why not do it on?
Yeah, do it on the 12th.
Do it Monday.
On Monday.
I like the idea of a Monday.
February 12th is the Monday.
We can't, Councillor Wall's not gonna be here.
Do we all have to be here?
So we have got one day to pick from,
Where's
is that what you
Councillor
said?
Wall gonna be?
We have the 9th or the 9th?
I'll be visiting my grandmother.
Over the other
the
days?
9th.
Oh God, can I squeeze it
I'm
in?
only gone for the weekend.
5th, 6th, 9th, or 12th, or we can move it to the following week if none of those.
You can't do the
days are-
5th?
Or 6th?
I can fit it in on the 5th. But you can't fit it in on the 5th.
How about an email?
At 6 o'clock? Oh no, I should be done by then, yeah.
Yeah, 5th works?
Fifth can work.
That's the Monday, does the 5th work for everybody else?
Should be.
It's not a Friday.
It's a
It'll work.
Monday.
How many hours?
5th work
2,
for you,
3?
Councillor Wynn?
Probably 6 till 8.
Possibly.
Yeah, she figures about 2.
More than likely.
More than likely, okay, we're gonna book it for the 5th,
At 6 p.m.
and if we can't do it on the 5th, it's gonna have to be on the 9th. Right, guys?
5:30.
If we do
Yeah, 5:30 is fine.
Well, I guess
Councillor Johnston,
It has worked.
can you make,
5:30,
you can? Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
5:30.
I wrote it in, it's official.
It's not official till I send the email out that says it's official.
Well, the other thing too is that it's a better utilization of staff's time, so staff isn't getting off work and going home and then having to come back in, or you guys can be home sooner that night.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and that's all I have to say.
Perfect. Alright, action items, anything on the list anybody wants to check about? I was like, this looks much more green, previously. Yeah. Looks good.
Are graffiti rock is low priority now?
Yes.
Graffiti.
It's covered in snow. Okay, it has a dusting of snow.
It has a dust. One thing about this, if I'm
Mhm.
is the short-term rental opting out, there is a deadline of February
The
1st.
letter's already gone,
Oh, it's done.
and it's February 29th, not February 1st.
They had it on the leap year day.
And then I,
They put it on the.
Oh, so this
bonus
should
day.
be, so that one should be green then?
yes, it's done now.
Okay.
It wasn't done at the time that I did the agenda. It will be green on the next.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Okay. Okay, and capital special projects list won't be done until we've done our budget. So council calendars. What you folks up to? Who's leaving town? Oh, Councilor. Where do you think you're going?
For the Chinese New Year, on the 10th of February, I'm planning on visiting my grandmother. And I'll be gone for the weekend, and possibly the Monday and Tuesday following.
Bring back cookies.
I'll bring back pennies in little bags.
Those are good luck, that sounds good. Am I reading this correct, that on the Wednesday, I have a PRRD meeting? No, that's,
Yes,
Yeah, that's special.
Yeah.
okay, and a council meeting on the same day.
yes.
Listen, guys, my stutter's gonna be 10 times worse than normal,
Then you have
heads
a
up.
PRD meeting the next- And then the next day you have a PRD meeting as well.
I know, when I talk that much, it just gets worse as the evening goes on, so I wouldn't be able to say my own name by the time I'm here. Heads up to you. Okay. Right? Anybody else have anything going on? No? Okay.
Nope.
All right, well then we are going to move on to what we've been up to. So, Councillor Johnston.
I don't have much to report unless you wanna hear about the renovation I've been doing.
It's like kind of Christmas, right? It's like a weird, and then
Yeah,
after
it's
Christmas,
been-
and then it was like minus 1,000, so we were all hiding.
Yeah, stuck at home for days.
Yeah.
Okay. Councillor Rattle?
Okay, Happy New Year, Happy 2024, everyone. I attended a Self Peace Health Services meeting in December of 2023. Essentially, they're working through various budgeting and fiscal prudence things and whatnot. Anyways, they're moving forward with all their various projects. They're still operating the Poultry House. They operate a locum house for visiting nurses and whatnot. Just, chugging along. Really good stuff to see. Went to a food bank meeting in December. Very interesting. Some bylaws received as information and seeing volunteers come together. Good to see the foodstuffs really stocked up, so that's chugging along as well. I had a citizen approach me with concerns regarding highway signage, Jake brake signage, and the school slow down sign flashing at incorrect times and whatnot. I passed that along to the CAO. From my understanding, the CAO contacted the Ministry of Transportation, MOVI, And they have issued us a response that there are apparently these Jake break signs really, really far. I must not see them because I've seen them a million times, but
Nobody listens to them anyway.
you know, folks when they're driving down that hill are Jake breaking and whatnot and disturbs folks. Anyways, and then apparently they're looking into the school sign flashing. So I just wanted to bring that to council's attention. You know, those pieces are there. Anyways, very recently, this Monday, I attended a new thing, the Dawson Creek Child Care Task Force. This is with the school district and the principal who works with early child education for the school district 59. And this is essentially designed to bring together community partners, nonprofits, folks that deal with early childhood learning. And this was a preliminary meeting. A lot of really good conversations, and I will continue to sit with these folks and talk. The piece that may come up in the future, so this came from a 2022 report that there's the need for a task force to address the lack of childcare spaces in Dawson Creek area. I appreciate the opportunity to attend. The one piece though, the Dawson Creek Child Care Task Force will, in their report from 2022, as point 2, review the zoning bylaws for Dawson Creek and Pouce Coupe to determine where opportunities for childcare spaces might exist. So this is a potential piece that may come up in the future. We'll continue to keep eyes and ears on it, and of course I will let you folks know what goes on in regards to that. Other than that, just keeping in touch with folks. Am I missing something?
Workshop.
Which workshop? Oh, well, I attended a grant writing workshop that was really interesting. It was mainly focused on agricultural grants, but it did give me a good insight into how grants are written, what grant funders are looking for, just really good information. Yeah, that was more of a personal piece, but it is still somewhat applicable.
Cool, okay, wonderful, thank you. And I'm glad that your meeting with the task force went really, really well. I was glad that you were able to make that.
I didn't say all that, so.
I know, look at you go, cutting it down, man oh man.
It'll be in the report on the next
Yeah. All right, Councillor Wall.
I met with the Legion. Next Neutral Night is this Friday. We're also looking at large events this summer, things like that, things to bring people into Pouce Coupe. So that's really exciting. Right now there's nothing really on the books that's solid to bring up in a public setting like this, but we're looking at ways of drawing people from Dawson into Pouce and having more events more often.
Yeah.
Which I'm really looking forward to, and I hope that really turns out. Schnitzel Night is this Friday, for interested people, by the way. I talked to a resident talked to me regarding utilities on homes that are in probate or escrow. So there's a few different homes here in Pouce that are vacant because the residents have unfortunately passed, and the utility bills on those are really eating away at, it can really eat away at the estate. Every couple of months you got the garbage that has nothing in it or not even pulled out to the curb because the house is empty, and water, which is still being charged, might even be turned off. So I was wondering how council would feel about staff looking into that, to see if there's anything we can do to alleviate these families' pain that are already going through a loss.
It's difficult because when it comes to those things, you can't correctly advocate for those families on your own. And so where if they were to reach out to the staff themselves and sort of create that conversation, it would be easier for the staff to understand the situation where right now it's quite blanketed.
I'm trying to keep it so it's not obvious who it is.
Ms. Stokes?
There's nothing that we as the village can do.
Okay.
Water is mandatory, garbage is mandatory. They can come as a delegation to council, or they can write a letter to council requesting help for a hardship, but that is something that has to go through council. It has to go through the meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll let
It's
them
not
know.
something that we as the village can do anything about, but they can approach council via a letter or a delegation requesting that it's a hardship to the family, and council can decide in that meeting.
Well, it's just vacant properties,
Yeah,
right?
but, I mean, there's lots of vacant properties and people still have to pay for their stuff.
Yeah.
So the mechanism is from the council?
The best mechanism is bringing it forward to council is, or writing a letter and sending it to me, and then it goes on the agenda.
Okay. And I also attended the grant writing thing with Councillor Ravel.
Cool.
There was one more thing I did. I always forget one more thing I did.
Don't remember the other thing.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Did you talk to some other folks? Maybe some out on the lakes or something? I don't know.
Maybe. I'll remember after the meeting.
Right, you'll jump up just at the very end. Okay. Councillor Woodall?
I have done absolutely nothing since the last council meeting, other than staying warm and not let my house freeze. Other than that, I do have a meeting on Friday evening with our fire chief, just to touch base with him and connect with him, so.
All right.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I technically haven't been here since like December 6th, because I didn't attend the last council meeting, so mine's got a little bit of Christmas stuff in it, so
You're gonna send this to us, right?
I'm totally gonna send it to you, absolutely. So, I know that Christmas seems like a lifetime ago, but I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas season and wonderful holidays. And for me, it's been a slow and steady start back at it. Going way back when, December 6th, I met with the staff and did my check-in before I left town. I attended the village Christmas party, which was an extreme success. I had a wonderful time. Shut the place down practically, really. Miss Stokes was kicking me out. It was great. I stayed till like 11 p.m. and we had a wonderful time. Lots of smiles and lots of laughing, which was nice to see. It was nice to see everybody connecting on a fun, jovial setting instead. So we had a lot of fun. The staff had you guys had 8 games or something? I don't know. I played so many different games. There's a lot of cheating, by the way. I do have to add. Man, these village people, they'll just do anything. The volunteer firefighters, the staff, they just all like to, move the bowls away from you, and yeah. It was great. I had so much fun. I attended the MLA open house hosted by Mike Bernier. Just, I really liked the idea that there was booths there from different community supports, and so I thought that, that was really, really great. I attended that. I attended a budget meeting with staff here at the office on December 14th. January 4th, I met with the staff again and really just did my, hey, it's after Christmas, how are we doing? It was a lot of, okay, we gotta kind of get back into budget season of the joys. January 11th, I attended the PRRD meeting in Dawson Creek. I did write a PRRD report because I know that you guys were looking for that. A few of the things that stuck out to me at the PRRD meeting was the Northern Lights College Allied Healthcare Strategy. So Northern Lights College is redesigning their current allied healthcare model by adding more opportunities to include education and other positions within the medical field, such as assistant positions, technician positions, specialist positions, and RN degrees. And NLC is currently looking to meet the needs within the rural community, because right now they only offer nursing, not only, but that's one of their main, and so they're kind of looking to branch out. And this new model is focusing on retaining, recruitment, training, and redesign to meet the needs of Dawson Creek, of course, they did the whole area. And there was lots and lots of questions asking them about their student retention, how many students are completing the program and going off to become nurses. That was one of my big questions, because I know I've often heard from the public, we have this nursing program in Dawson Creek, yet we're constantly short on nurses. Their retention is actually really, really good, but the problem is that the staffing shortage is so severe that even if every seat in every university was filled and every student passed, they would still never be able to fill every vacancy. So I was kind of bummed to hear that. The Soto First Nations asked for a letter of support for the volunteer fire department out there. Ooh, the Bear Mountain outside of Dawson here received a $5,000 grant that was approved for the Bear Mountain trail maintenance. So I was really excited about that, thought that was pretty cool.
Hopefully it's for snowmaking too.
Solidly for the Nordic.
No, it's just for the Nordic ski, yeah.
Oh.
So, so I will send that report out to everybody, so you guys can all read it and go through it. And then on January 12th, I attended the NDIT meeting, and we sort of went over a list of grants that they've done in 2023, and then what their prospective 2024 was looking like. And from that, I did end up getting a list of some grants that I sent to Ms. Stokes. So it was the Active Community Grant. I was looking out for maybe park upgrades and stuff, disaster reduction, climate adaptation funding to maybe keep our lagoon, funding finder, which is like a new web page, web app that can help you find grants, and then Green My City grant. So this is all the information I've already sent off to Ms. Stokes. She looked into them. One of them we were hoping would work for Canada Day, and it didn't. So I was kind of bummed about that. Ms. Stokes dug into it, and she was like, "We're inapplicable." And I was like, "Darn it!" So yeah, so that's what I've been up to so far since coming back from Christmas holidays, and it's been pretty good. I will send everything I've just said to you. You have it. Councilor Wall.
After your report, I remember correctly.
Ah, there we. I knew it was every time. Every time. What did you for?
I had a resident contact me, concerned about the BC assessment. A lot of assessments in Pouce Coupe have gone down this time.
Mine went up.
Mine went up.
Mine went up.
Some went up, some went down. On average, Pouce Coupe went down slightly. So people are a little bit concerned about the tax increases that we're proposing, and what I have been kind of pushing out there is it's not about the mill rate, it's about how much revenue we need to survive, right? So that 10% we were talking about last year still will be about 10%. So that.
Well, and remember too, when we met with our finance staff last year, we were projecting, right? So we're following along the recommendations that we're receiving from our staff, which is, you know, the 10% increase for this year, but that's still a vote of council. That's still a conversation of council.
You don't know what the rate's going to be.
Yeah, like really at this point, we're all still.
The people shouldn't be worried about their assessments.
And if they have concerns about their assessments, they can reach out to BC Assessment. That's who they have to contact. Not us.
But it's my understanding if their assessment value went down, the amount of taxes they would pay would decrease accordingly as well.
Yes.
Or
Taxes
those
go
of us
down
who
if your
assessments
assessment
go
goes
up. We're paying more in taxes because our assessments went up.
Yeah, same.
So we would get a decrease naturally anyway if their assessment went down.
Yeah.
Overall though, the amount of revenue we need for a municipality will be when we do our budgeting. It has nothing to do with the assessments.
Yeah, and at that point in time, that's a few weeks from now before we have to have all those.
I just wanted to throw that out there, that people are talking about it, they're thinking about it, and I want everyone in the room to be thinking about it too. So.
Sounds good. Okay. All right. Anything else? No? Well then, hang on, I gotta find my agenda. Where did it go? Okay, so question period. There's none. Item number 13. In camera as per section 91 of the community charter, so 13.1 recommendation.
The council moves to in camera as per section 91, A and C. A. Personal information about an identifiable individual who holds or is being considered for a position as an officer, employee, or agent of the municipality or other position appointed by the municipality. C. Labor relations or other employee relations.
Seconded by Councillor Whittle. Thank you. All those in favor?
Sure.
I mean, Councillor Wall.
I thought you wanted to beat me up.
Oh,
No, it's just screwing up our names again.
Switch names.